Okay, so we're watching a 2 times speed time-lapse video. Oh, should introduce myself. This is Chamba, Patreon video of Ashi. I think that's her name. I forget. Is it Ashi? It's Ashi. But she's that female character from the current season of Samurai Jack. In case you guys aren't familiar with the show, they did a new season, and it's pretty good. It's like a short, I think maybe like 8-episode season or something like that. It's almost done actually, but this is one of the characters chosen by Highest Tier Patron, so thank you for your choice. The video that you're seeing is double the speed. It took about an hour, the video in total to record, but I figured I would do it in double speed just to get things moving a little quicker, because I figured speaking for an hour is not going to be fun for me or you, I guess. I mean, I'm just blabbering on, so it's not so good. But like the previous videos, I'm doing the recording after the fact, so I didn't record while I was making it, but obviously recording afterwards. So I'm just gonna talk through what I'm doing actually. So what I just did then was baselines. Baselines to an image. Usually that's how I begin any piece, traditional or digital. Start off with baselines, just to give me a nice guide. So yeah, I set the background to red, and I adjusted the baselines themselves so that I can see them. But for this piece in particular, I was going to take it a different direction actually. Normally I would actually color, like I would do the line art, the lines first, but for this piece I wanted to just go basic base flats and just render it above it. So like I would render her skin smoothly, and for the black sections, which there are quite a few, I would cell shade. I did this method a couple years ago, and I figured I'd give it another shot for this particular character, just because I think it would look really cool. No particular reason really why I didn't line this up like I normally would, but a nice change of pace every now and then is always fun, and it just keeps things interesting, I suppose. It gives it an interesting look. At least that's how I feel based on the final results, which you will see when this is done. So right now I'm using the lasso tool, and as you can see, there's no anti-alias on. I prefer with anti-alias off, so that whenever I reselect the section, it's an exact selection. I don't know, I always had issues with making a selection with the anti-alias on, and it always makes it just makes it look weird, like whenever I'm rendering above it. I don't know, it might be hard to explain. It's probably just a personal preference at that as well, but this is a method that I prefer. So I'm just flatting it out essentially. Lasso tool, paint bucket. Seeing it in double speed is actually quite good, because I mean, I would love to be able to work on the actual piece at this speed, but nah. I mean, at the speed that I'm currently working on, I think it does the job well enough, but boy, things would get done a lot quicker if I was working double speed. So yeah, this season of Samurai Jack is actually, I don't know about you guys, but I used to watch the show when it was being aired a couple years back. I've got the DVDs. I'm not sure if I've got all the DVDs, but I've got a handful of them anyways, and I really like the show. The style is very cool. I know a lot of people think, oh, it's a simple looking style, but because of its simplicity, you have to have a strong sense of color and form, and this show has plenty of that. So it's I really enjoyed it. It's a simple story with, you know, simple and interesting characters. The main protagonist himself is pretty interesting. I like the villain. I mean, everyone loves the villain Aku, so yeah, it's a good show. And so far this new season, it's picked up pretty well from where it left off. Yeah, I'm doing selections, and yeah, I did this section blue, this selection, just so that I can see it properly. But there you can see how each of the different blacks technically are all different tones of black. It's moving along all right. I'm just fixing certain sections here. Oh, also the program that I'm using, it's Manga Studio, like I've been using recently. I've kind of stopped using Photoshop because there's certain things that Manga Studio allows me to do that Photoshop restricts me. Like a lot of the painting aspects, there's really nice paint brushes. Like there's this watercolor brush right now that I use a lot, which you'll see I'll use in this piece. I like that. I can blend really well, and yeah, that's what I like using for that. But as you can see, flatting takes a while, but I think it's taking longer than it normally would because I'm actually drawing in the sections, I guess, you know, because there's no baselines. It's just all flat color. So because of that, you're just getting all the flats as is, which I don't know. It's pretty interesting. I've got one more piece to do. Which I'm going to do later, which is also for a highest tier patron. In fact, I got 2 more pieces, but I'm just waiting for the response, but of what character. But the one that I'm going to do after this, it's of Melody, and I think that one I will do in my regular style, but I'm not really sure yet. We'll see. I do like this style, so I might give this shot on, you know, give this style another whirl. We'll see when I get to it. Doing this video is it is quite time consuming in a sense, but you know, this was one of the tiers where, you know, they get a video as well. So not gonna be available to public yet. I'm not sure. I might just make one of the previous ones available, because I've got a few that aren't exactly available, but I guess I'll just make those available for public first, and I'll get to this one eventually. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. I might switch it up a little bit, but we'll see. So here I'm just like blending in sections just to give it that extra touch. I'm going to be painting little details and such now. Like right now I'm going to tackle her eye. It's fun painting eyes for some reason. Like in comics anyways, I try not to go as detailed because it's just time consuming. In fact, with the old comics, I created like an eye template, which I could then reuse and just apply later on, which is why most of the time I don't like really draw the lines of the eye as in to show where the eye is, and I'll just apply it digitally after the fact, but which is what I did here, I guess. But I guess that makes sense because there weren't really any lines in this piece. So yeah, right now I'm just adding little details, extra hair and eyelashes, just little details which I didn't apply in my flats. After this, I think I do her skin tone. Yeah, I add like a bit of blush to her. Also, let me know if you guys would have preferred a real-time version of this, or if this ×2 speed works well. Again, if it was real-time, personally, I feel that watching a whole hour of this would be a bit boring. But that is just me, and I mean, if I had it my way, I probably would have just made this like a full-on, like a 4-minute long video or something. Way easier to record that, I promise. But, and you know, it takes about as long to record because I'm working on the piece anyways. But yeah, let me know, and we'll see how that goes. Maybe for like next month I might do it that way. But again, apologies, because I really wanted to. I guess I was too optimistic, but I thought I'd start on RandomVeus Volume 2 already by this point, but work just kind of came out of nowhere, and that is priority, unfortunately. Fortunately for RandomVeus' sake, I guess. I mean, it's good for me because, you know, it's paid work, so that's always nice. And the actual job itself is pretty neat. Unfortunately, I can't even speak about that yet because it's not been announced and whatnot. But I'll speak on it when it, you know, we can eventually start talking about it. But hopefully by then I'll be working on RandomVeus already too, so that'd be good. But I do apologize for the delay once more. I really want to work on it, but I'll get to it, I guess. Okay, so as you can see, I'm just like painting in little details here, like to give her the shape of her nose and whatnot. As you notice there, I didn't really draw it in, I just kind of painted it in where the you know, the blushes and whatnot would go. And so yeah, right now I'm just adding little finer details. So like technically at this point, honestly, I think it could almost be complete if I wanted it to, but I was gonna render it anyways because I really wanted to render it. Just trial, you know, just give it a shot, see what happens. So I just faded her ear out a bit. It's like make it look more like thinner skin or cartilage, whatnot. I think I'm about to start doing some of the shading now. So about halfway at this point, I think. Maybe halfway? I don't know. Yeah, start off there. I mean, like giving different tones. It would have been nice to experiment more with the type of colors I wanted to use, but hopefully next time I could feel a little bit more adventurous. It's just really hard knowing that there's a camera recording this stuff. You'll see all the processes that it takes to actually achieve something, especially when you're kind of winging it. I didn't really have a set idea in my head. I just kind of went along and just went, yep, we'll give it a shot. Oh yes, right now, this is one of the brushes that I really like in Manga Studio. It is a watercolor brush, as you can see. Based on pressure, you can get harder, like sharper edged a brush, but obviously the lighter you go, you can essentially blend in your colors. So that's why I like using it. Like there's nothing that I've found anyways in Photoshop that I can achieve this with. So that's why I quite like using Manga Studio for that purpose. Yeah, I'm just giving some extra light here, just giving it some shapes to make it look a little bit more three-dimensional. I mean, I'm still definitely learning. I'm still pretty crappy at it, but it's all part of it, I guess. You know, we're always just learning anyways, and I think that's a good thing. It's nice to know that, you know, there's always room to grow. Always room to grow. But I'm having fun with this piece, so I think that's essential. People tend to forget to enjoy themselves when they're making pieces or when they're arting. They're always aiming for an end result. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd love a great end result, but this is the part where I'm learning stuff, you know. If I get it wrong here, that's cool, because I can try and take what I did here and see how I can apply it to the next pieces. I'm still using that same brush, man. This brush is great. It's quite versatile. I mean, you can do a lot of things with it. yeah, just there I was pressing a little harder then, and because I was pressing a little harder then, I got that sharper edge. It's pretty neat. I'm still rendering this. Even watching this playback, it's just, I'm realizing how long it's taken to do. It's pretty nuts, actually. It's pretty nuts. But again, piece is fun, and you get to see it in double speed. So while the video itself is like half an hour, like an episode of a show, it's just the creation of one piece. This piece itself is longer than one episode of Samurai Jack, and to me that's bonks. Like, personally, I'd rather watch an episode of Samurai Jack, but I mean, you know, I said I'd record a video for the Patreon, so this is what it is. So yeah, hopefully if it's being watched, great. If not, it's all good. I was gonna make the piece anyways, and you know, if I was gonna make the piece anyways, might as well record it, right? Could be, I mean, I could just not record it at all. I might, but I if I made it one of the tiers, I figured I might as well do it. Here I was adding the second, just a little bit of a glow to the skin, just so that it's not like a single dark shade, but there's aspects of this part right now that I'm not fully feeling, so I think I end up changing a little bit, like just going back, erasing some things, and just kind of starting again from scratch. So here you get to see how my mind works it out. Not always does it work out. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So there's a bit of backtracking, especially like when you're in a experiment stage. Like, again, because I'm always just trying to experiment a little bit. And yeah, you're seeing it here. You're basically seeing my mind try to work it out, whether or not I'm doing the right thing. See, I'm looking at that now. I'm not even feeling it. And I think the me that was working on it then weren't feeling it too. It just looks weird. I think the end result, though, if I'm not mistaken, the end result looks decent. I like it anyways. So there you go. See, I erased that whole section. I'm starting again. Couple minutes wasted on that, but at least I knew that it wasn't working out for me. You know, I figured it out soon enough, I suppose, that, you know, it didn't take too long to fix it up. But it still definitely is time, you know, used up. But so here I am again, just kind of fixing it up again. Yep. No, that was wrong. This commentary video thing is fun for me. It's fun and weird. Because watching it being done, I'm remembering what I was thinking when I was making it. I mean, sure, it only happened like less than an hour ago. Essentially, just before I started recording this audio, I'd finished a piece, so still pretty fresh, but my memory's garbage, so I'm sure I would have forgotten sections. Okay, right now I'm actually on a highlights part. I'm just adding highlights and a bit of shadow, extra shade. So here I'm just giving more definition, more definition to a nose. Just adding some shapes. It's still that same brush. It's like this watercolor brush, and I like it. I like it. It's super effective. Super effective. I didn't like doing too much of this part because it looked almost like a moustache. But I think it's working out right now. Adding a bit of shade on the lips. It's shaping up. I mean, it's a nice start, I feel. It's not the greatest thing, but it's also not atrocious. So I do like my cell shades too, and that's why I still do cell shades, because I love it. So honestly, I don't even know why I decided to paint this one up. It just kind of felt like it, I suppose. Just figured, what's the harm, right? Do a nifty fan art, paint up a little bit, you know, it's all right, it's all good. This is okay. We're about, I don't know, 3/5 maybe, a little bit more than 3/5 done. Just adding almost like final touches at this point on the flesh. Just a bit of shines here and there, some on the lips. Let's paint some of that. Fade it out a little bit. Get an ear, get some of that shadow going on. Nice. Look at that. Just adding some shapes to the ear. See, now it's looking like a proper ear. Secondary lighting on that mask. Now here for this part, I'm just doing a bit of shines on the black, but instead of painting sections in, I actually decided I would cell shade sections, because I figured the material is different from what the material of his skin is, obviously. You know, skin is more smooth, I suppose, more matte, whereas the black material, which I'm not even sure if it's like vinyl-y, or I mean it could be a flat black matte too. I figured give it a bit of shine though. And I mean, I could have easily just said, yeah, this piece is done now, but I'm not. I figured I'd add some more stuff, so I added another with cell shades, just some extra rim light, just to give her a bit of definition, just to make her pop a little bit more. I think it's working out quite well. Yeah, I like it. I think it looks pretty neat. Just like taking a mask off. It's hard seeing this section. I didn't even see where the points. There you go. I had to select the whole section and then select the hair and everything else just to get the rim correctly. The dark areas are so close that I couldn't even work it out. This part of the piece is so fresh in my head still. It's pretty bonks, actually. I think I changed the layer setting of it. I'm not even sure what to though. Maybe like a highlight or something. And I'm sure I add an extra glow now. Here we go. That glow. Just to give it a bit more shine, which I fade out a little bit. There we go. So you just want that added touch. You don't want it to overpower too much. It's an interesting piece, I feel. End result anyway. Interesting. And kind of like make interesting choices, I suppose, later on. Here I'm adding a secondary lighting, like a just to give some extra definition to her right side. I mean, you got the breast and her other arm, bit of the hand. Yeah, look at this. I'm still I was just correcting that shape, but I think it's got a proper shape now. So you can see her shape that her breast makes, her chest, and also the other arm. See, again, this is a point where I could have said, "Yep, I'm done," but I don't know why I decided, nah, I could add a little bit more to this. Something in the background maybe. Which I do. You'll see. Oh wait, not yet. I'm still adding sections to the mask, adding a bit more shadow because I left it out earlier. It just didn't cross my mind. So again, using that watercolor brush, very nice brush. Yeah, just get a bit of shine there, give some definition to them eyes. Sometimes I forget which layer is which, and then there we go, correcting this section here, getting a bit more shape. Okay, and now I'm onto the backgrounds, I think. Yeah, there shouldn't be too long left, couple minutes. Yeah, we go. You'll probably figure out who it is I'm drawing now. Yeah, I don't know, like for those who haven't seen the show yet, probably not even familiar who this character's supposed to be, or why she's at all relevant, or why at all this character that I'm drawing now is relevant to the piece. But it'll probably make sense if you have watched the show, which I'd recommend if you enjoyed it, as in the original seasons. Yeah, by this point you'd probably know who this is now. Saku. So I figured I'd add a little bit of a background, something simple, don't know why, but something simple. I went with a more basic style. I think I end up fading him out a little bit later too. Not even sure at this point. But he's a neat one. Really cool designs in this show. Love the lovely palettes. Color palettes are so good. Something that I definitely try to apply to my own work, I reckon. Color theory and stuff you use in the show for the backgrounds, for the characters, for the moods. All aces. Cool. I was gonna leave it at that, fade him out a little bit, but I think I just do a little bit more before the piece is fully done. See, I do fade out sections, but then it's like, no, it's not done yet. I'm gonna add little things, but the piece is essentially done at this point. The rest you'll see. Don't need any explanation. So again, thanks for watching. I know this video is a little bit long. It's like half hour again, as mentioned earlier. I'll try make, you know what, I'll make the next one. I'll try make the next one roughly this long too. Hopefully the other one, the one after this, doesn't take too long to do. So having to record this won't be too much of a hassle. And obviously having to watch this won't be too much of a hassle for you guys. But thanks for joining, and thanks for the support on Patreon. Really appreciate it. I really do. It'll definitely help out when I'm making RandomVeus, when I'm actually starting RandomVeus. So yeah, cheers.